This is Garcia for IFLTV. We're joined by Martin Bakole. Martin, what a couple of days it's been for you. Obviously tonight wasn't your night. Talk to me about the fight.
I think everyone knows what happened, but to be honest, I've not seen the punch today. But it's boxing. Anything can happen, and especially it's everywhere. Like you see, I'm sitting with my coach. I'm asking him why not giving me a second chance. He said no. You watch the video, because until now I've not watched the video. For me, I was thinking maybe I'm going to recover and come back again, like Joseph Parker did to Big Zhang. But thank God, I have a coach besides me saying no. As a coach, I should stop the fight. It is what it is.
What do you remember about the punch that seems to catch you at the top of the head?
It catch me, it catch me on top. I've not even seen the punch because my hand was here. I never get punched here, and I just feel like, oh, what the hell? But I remember everything. So I went down, and the referee put Joseph Parker in the corner and watched down, and there was 4, and I tried to stand up, but for coach and everyone, they said I was too late because I was still struggling to stand up. But it's not at the end. But Excellency say we have a May fight still on, so I'm going and maybe have 1 week off and go back again to the gym.
Martin, it's literally the most insane story at this level of boxing I think we've ever seen. And obviously you're going to come out with the credit of coming over here. But in hindsight, would you look back and think that maybe wasn't the right thing to 2 days' notice or not?
No, it wasn't, because I say yes the fight. So let me say
yes.
Yeah. I respect you.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the fight short notice and flying all the way. What time did you arrive this morning?
2 in the morning.
Crazy man. You are crazy.
You're my brother. I tell the coach, look, I can't let my brother down. So
Thank you.
you spend a lot in the camp, so let me go.
Listen, you have safe to your family, and thank you very much.
Okay.
Boys.
Coach. Thank you. Thank you, coach. Cheers. Yeah. Cheers. Thank you, Joe. Cheers. Thank you. Yeah. Like we say, I land here at 2 in the morning, so no time to sleep. But this is for me. I've not lost the fight because I've done something like nobody never done in the boxing. So it's not only to help Joe Parker, but to be honest, let me tell you that it's like 3 times I get a call from Saudi, and I was not ready, and I always stand down. I said no, I'm not ready. But this one was like Excellency wanted to save the show, and don't forget that he gave me already 3 fights this year, and he promised me already I'll be in the May. I said, why not? No, help him this time. So I take big risk. I deserve it because it's big risk. So I was not prepared for it. I was in Congo and do my business. I went to see my father, but I had call from coach, so I'm here today. So it's like dreaming, but I'm not dreaming. It's okay.
Martin, I'm not going to take too much of your time, but listen, it wasn't your night, but you did what I feel like a lot of people say they would do when they know that there's no chance of the fight happening. Not naming anyone, I think a lot of people would just say, I would have done that, I would have done that bit. You actually did do that, and like I said, it wasn't your night, but I'm sure you'll come back very soon.
No, I'll come back. I'll come back strong than before. For me, I've not get knockout. For me, it's just punch, like I get punch in sparring. And I still have my head up, and I will go back to the gym, work hard, and come back strong again. Believe me.
Martin Bakole, thank you very much for your time, and we'll speak to you soon, okay?
Happy, calm, reflective.
Let's jump straight to that very entertaining press conference today. What's the thing with Hearn then? What's that? Why wouldn't he let him speak in that press conference and the previous one? What is it?
What good would it do to me as the fighter, as the man who's getting in that ring against Conor Benn on April 26th, to sit there and listen to an enemy talk? All he does is lie. All he does is fabricate. I'm not here to listen to any of that noise. I'm here to speak to Conor. I'm here to get across my views on what I want to do and what I want to say. And then I'm here to leave. Not allow Eddie Hearn, Eddie I'm hard, it's on site Hearn, talk his usual utter bollocks.
Going back to the press conference again, you are going to donate £50,000 to the people, the fighters that were on the undercard, which is obviously a great gesture to do. Why are you doing that, Chris?
Because they were never compensated. I was never compensated, but the fighters on that first fight were never given, a refund. They were never given any money back for all the money they spent on the camps that they had. And I know how expensive camps can be. Luckily, I'm in a blessed position to where I'm very comfortable in life, so it didn't affect me. But some people are not. Some people, when they spend money on a camp and they don't fight, that's a serious thing. It puts them in a bad spot. So now that the fight is actually happening, I will give some of my purse to those fighters.
And by the sounds of it, that will also be matched by Matchroom and Eddie Hearn as well.
Well, I didn't hear that. I heard him make excuses about, I made sure they got out as soon as possible, but that means they've had to pay for another training camp. You didn't compensate them for the camp that they had for that fight. I don't think Eddie will be giving any money to anybody. I know Conor won't. But I've put it out there. If they aren't the scumbags that I think they are, then maybe they'll match my offer.
Back to the press conference, you had some words with Nigel Benn in that press conference over the situation from Tuesday evening in Manchester. Just wanted you to talk about that.
I was direct. I was clear. Don't ever put your hands on me again. This is between me and Conor. Regardless of what happens and how you feel and how pissed off you are, putting your hand on me is it's unacceptable. And if it was to ever happen again, that hand would not be coming back to him.
That press conference from Tuesday night is done. I did wonder how you managed to keep eggs unbroken in your jacket for such a period of time.
That's the beautiful thing about the quality of a Louis Vuitton jacket. The leather it's wonderful. It's protective. You can put things inside the pockets and they are safe.
Chris, when did you decide to do that?
The day I heard that Conor Benn was blaming his failed drug tests on contaminated eggs. So this was years ago. The day I heard that, I said, you know what? One day I'm going to contaminate this guy with an egg for this bullshit that he just came out with. You live by the egg, you die by the egg.
I haven't seen it, but was there a moment on the pitch with Conor and Ben Shalom? Somebody just told me about that.
I don't know. There was a moment between me and him, things. There's.
What was said in that face-off on the pitch just now?
I told him I'm ready. Make a move. Because he's standing there like he's ready to swing. So I'm in my stance. I'm ready. You ain't gonna get a shot off on me. And if you do, you're gonna pay for it.
This press conference now is done. You guys go back to your training camps, but Is this almost becoming too personal and too bitter, this rivalry now with you and Conor?
That's for the public to decide. I just have to deal with what's in front of me. I have to deal with the fact that I'm fighting a drug cheat, and I have to treat him in the way that any drug cheat should be treated. And that is very poorly.
Last one from me. What happens here, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 65,000 people. What happens here on April 26th?
The procedure will be parliamentary.
Chris Eubank Jr, thank you very much for your time. We look forward to a great build-up ahead of April 26th. Have you got anything else you'd like to add?
Nope. Time to go and talk to Piers Morgan.
Coogan, Piers Morgan, I like it.
One day you'll get there.
Cassis for IFLTV, delighted to be joined for the first time by Mr. Tristan Tate. How are you, mate?
Good,
you all right?
man. Good, man. Glad to be here.
You're harder to get hold of than your brother, to be fair.
I like to stay out of the spotlight as much as possible. I always say that I'm famous by accident, so I am harder to get hold of. Yeah, that's true.
That's a bit harsh, isn't it?
A little bit, but you know, Andrew likes the limelight a lot more than I do, and I try to live as private of a life as I can. But Andrew said you're all right, so here I am doing the interview.
I'll take that. I'll absolutely take that. Yeah, fight week, boxing fight week. How does that compare to his days in kickboxing, etc., where he become world champion? All those kind of weeks that you were there all the way through, how does that compare to this kind of stage?
I think it's almost exactly the same because no two fight camps are the same. It's not that kickboxing fight camps and boxing fight camps are necessarily different. If you know who the opponent is, you train for the specific opponent, you work certain things. Maybe you work hands more than legs in some camps, legs more than hands. So this fight, we know that it's hands only. It's a boxing match. We know the size of our opponent. We know his reach. So we've trained for that specifically, exactly the same as every other camp.
Okay. Chase Demore has had a lot to say. He's probably going to have a lot to say in the press conference. You seem to be the most animated over the last few weeks from the clips we've seen than Andrew. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, I mean, I find Chase's trash talk, you know, pretty funny. If I was in his position, I would be a bit more humble because I'd be very prepared for the reality or the eventuality that I am going to lose the fight. And, you know, all these clips are going to be played back to them, you know, afterwards. So I do find it quite amusing.
If you was to give an unbiased opinion, if you will, about Andrew's kind of first go in boxing, if you like, and Chase has obviously had a few fights, improved as he's gone along, which is kind of been the common line from Chase. But what would be your concerns about your brother going into the ring this week, if there was any?
Concerns? What's a concern? Totally unbiased opinion. No, I'm going to be fair. Andrew's going to knock him the fuck out. Unbiased.
Brilliant. Where are you in your fighting career, Tristan?
I don't know. Maybe
We know you can fight.
I
I've been
can.
told you can fight outside of everything. I've been told you can actually fight as well.
Thank you. I know I can fight. I had 40-something professional kickboxing fights. I have a very nice record. You know, a lot of fighters have nothing going on. And a lot of famous people or influencers have very little going on. So when money is dangled in front of their face, they think, oh, wow, I have to take this opportunity because it's going to make me more famous. It's going to get me a payday. While Andrew's in fight camp, I'm sleeping 3 or 4 hours a day. I have a business empire to run. We are the Tate brothers, and we run the Tate empire together. While he's training and sleeping and getting his rest in, I'm doing all the hard work behind the scenes. It would have to be a situation where Andrew wasn't fighting, so he could take the reins while I was training. Because we are a team and we are a partnership. So it depends on Andrew's next moves, to be honest. And, you know, I feel like if they paid me anything less than $10 million, I'd lose more money in business output actually training for the fight than doing it. So I have a lot going on, and I'm a very busy man. You know, I have a lot of people to take care of. I earn a lot of money, so it's going to have to be one hell of an offer to get me back.
I'm trying to process that in my head. So it'd have to be north for 10 million.
Yeah, probably.
The rest.
Yeah, anything else isn't worth my time.
So are you saying that there will be no situation where you and Andrew are in camp together, possibly fighting on the same kind of date card? That wouldn't happen?
I'm not saying it wouldn't happen. I'm saying people who understand the Tate empire and how much work we put in to maintaining it would understand how much money I'd lose if that were the case. So all of my friends know that. If Andrew and I were both training for a fight and we were both in camp, we'd lose a lot of money. So the offer would have to be insane.
Are you telling me that Andrew is losing money currently in the camp ahead of Saturday?
Well, he has me, doesn't he? So luckily, I'm happy to sleep 3 hours a day and do all of the work. I'm more than happy to do that for him because he's my brother and I care about him and I want him to win.
We've seen obviously loads of clips, more so than kind of, I know you guys have streamed, etc. But and I spoke to Andrew about this a month ago about your relationship, and he said that, you know, when I asked him how did you get on in prison, etc., he said, well, who cares? I'm with my brother Tristan, and that's what it is. So your relationship is quite unique to any other kind of brother-brother relationship that I've ever seen.
Yeah, and that doesn't make me happy. It actually makes me incredibly sad. It makes me incredibly sad because I didn't understand how unique and how rare our relationship was until we got famous. And everyone was talking about, oh, I wish I knew my brother. I wish I was in contact with him. I wish I worked together with my brother. I was like, what, no other brothers in the world like have each other's backs like this? And I'll quite frankly say it, I've never seen another pair of brothers who've had their backs like this. Actually, no, you're British, so you'll know. There's one other pair of brothers who really loved each other and stuck together and worked together and never argued. The Chuckle brothers. But one of them is dead. May he rest in peace. And I follow Paul Chuckle now on X, and, you know, seeing his posts, you know, wishing Barry a happy, you know, anniversary and stuff actually makes me incredibly sad because those two were as close to the Tate brothers in terms of brotherly love and relationships I've ever seen, but nobody else comes close.
Randomly, I met Paul Chuckle in Bournemouth. Oh, was it in Bournemouth?
Hull.
No, was it in Hull?
Hull.
Sorry, Joe, thank you. In Hull. Yeah. See him in the car park with his family. I had to go and get a picture.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. But yes, we know we're old enough to know the Chuckle brothers.
Yeah, shout out to Paul Chuckle, legend. And rest in peace, Barry.
Absolutely. Last one, because we are getting moved on here. AJ Jake Paul. Just a thought on that, Christian. Are you in favour of it or not? You get why it's going on, obviously.
They're both young. They're both fit. I'm fully in favour of two young men, you know, signing the contracts and wanting to fight. I know AJ. I know Jake slightly better. I wish both of them all the success in the world, and I hope no one comes out of the fight harmed. And, you know, credit to both of them for taking the fight. I have nothing bad to say about that match.
Tristan, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck with Andrew this week, and hopefully after the fight we'll be able to capture a word with you, if that's okay.
Absolutely, no problem at all. I'll see you then.
Garcia,
I'm coming.
IFLTV, here with Spencer Brown. Spencer, we've just seen the ring have announced it's Joseph Parker there. That Joseph Parker will face Martin Bakole.
Joe,
come in.
Just been announced. You're fighting Martin Bakole.
Oh, let's go!
So we're not scared. Everybody, we're not scared, are you, Joe?
Sweet as.
When did you learn it was going to be Martin Bakole? It's just been announced now.
Spencer just told me now.
Just so look, I didn't. To be fair, I didn't. I got some calls over when we was on the press conference. We got some calls. There was 3 people mentioned. Joe never turned anybody down. All comers are welcome. Let's go.
So how disappointed are you that the Dubois fight isn't happening?
Listen, it's all part of boxing and part of the journey. But I guess one opportunity goes away, another one comes, and we're fighting Martin Bakole, who's been waiting for a big fight. So let's get it on, and hopefully we can revisit this fight down the line. I want to be champion of the world.
I mean, fair play to you. Bakole's the most avoided heavyweight out there.
Bakole is the most avoided heavyweight, but I love to challenge myself. Andy, Spencer sat down and had a discussion with Turkey, and we just had a quick talk, and we welcomed anyone. And now we got Martin Bakole, which is great.
The IBF situation, I mean, you'll have your chance again at some point.
I'll have my chance again at some point, but for now my focus is on Martin Bakole.
Right.
He's a beast, so let's get ready.
Listen, fair play to you. We'll let you crack on. Joseph Parker, thank you very much.
Colin McGuigan, IFLTV, delighted to be joined by Martin Bakole. Martin, you're here at a special night for the Ring Magazine. Just talk to me a little bit about tonight.
It's my first night in the Ring Magazine, and first time for me to participate in something like this. So I'm looking forward.
Obviously, you've got a massive fight coming up. When will we get a date on that fight, and what are the conversations that you've had about this Ajagba fight?
Yeah, we have a name on the table. So my team and my promoter, they're working on a date. So I can't wait. So I'm looking forward to stop him and go for the world title.
Obviously, Billy Nelson has been shouting from your corner all over Christmas time about wanting you against Dubois, wanting you against Usyk, Joshua. Who do you want, Martin? Who do you want to face next?
I want everybody. I want anyone. But this time, after beating Ajagba, I will want the win of Dubois and Parker because I'm fighting for the IBF.
Obviously, you had a message on your Instagram for Anthony Joshua the other day. Did you feel disrespected by AJ?
I don't know, but I'm surprised why he said something like that because himself couldn't even stop me. He can't even stand and say, yes, I'll fight you. And why? I was asking myself why he said Ajagba is going to beat me. So that's the reason why I done that video. He should not say that. He should be ashamed of himself because I'm looking to fight him. Ajagba is number 7 and he's number 3. I'm number 1. He should stand and fight me. Why is saying Ajagba is going to beat me? He's scared.
How big of a fight for Martin Bakole is Martin Bakole against Anthony Joshua in Africa?
Oh, that would be a big fight. He mentioned himself before, even the Dubois fight. That was a big fight. I wanted that to be in Nigeria or in the Congo.
There's Usyk behind you, looking at Alexander Usyk right now. Do you believe that Martin Bakole can stop him?
Good to meet you. Yeah. Sergio. That's the man I want.
Do you think you can beat him, Martin?
Okay. Let's see. Of course, yeah. I'll beat him.
You'll beat him. How would you beat Alexander Usyk?
I'll beat Alexander Usyk. I'll beat Joshua. I'll beat Dubois.
What way would you beat Usyk? He says he beat Usyk, Sergey. What do you make of that?
Yeah, this legend for sparring partner.
He knows. He was there.
I know this guy.
Were you there when they sparred?
This strong guy. I know this guy.
What do you think of him against Alexander Usyk?
This good fight. I think this good fight.
He believes that he beats Alexander Usyk. What do you say to that?
Alexander himself, he believes he can beat me as well. So, but I believe I will beat him. This is a business. This is a boxing.
Thank you very much for your time, guys. Appreciate it.
I know this guy. This good. This talent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, this style same for Foreman.
Yeah, definitely.
Birthday today for birthday for Foreman.
You're everybody's friend, right? Sometimes, all the time.
Not really, no.
You're a journalist, so you got to do what you do. Hey, I took a picture with you one day, many years ago. Okay, what do you remember about that picture?
It was our first picture.
What do you remember about the picture? This first picture.
All I remember, we were standing like this, and I was looking at you while you were facing that way. That's what I remember about it.
Well, if you look at the picture again, you'll see I had my arms around you like this.
Correct.
Right. You know what that means? It means I love you, the love of Christ. So I've never been against anything you've done. You are an authority. You are media. You are a journalist. You are a very important man to the youngsters out there who are watching us gladiators and our behavior. So no,
You didn't approve of my language years ago, did you?
I still don't.
No, I know. You don't really hear me talking like that anymore.
No, I've heard you. I've heard you. I pick you up now and then. But you see, you are going to have to live with that because it's going to follow you all your life. So what I say to you now is there's a word called repent. So repent means if you're going the wrong way, repent just means going back. Go the other way. Go the other way, not the wrong way, not the moronic way, not the low vibrational way. You go the high way. Yeah, the way of grace. You're calm, gentle, true, decent, loving, forgiving. The Christ personality. That's what makes you age well in all you do. Now, let me have your question, young man.
This is Eubank Jr for IFLTV. We are at Tottenham. Absolutely delighted to be joined by Mr. Tristan Eubank Sr. First of all, how are you?
Extraordinary.
Can you give us a little bit of a context to why you're here? We know why you're here, but why are you here, if that makes sense?
My son is having a fight.
Correct.
And I'm always in full support of whatever he does so long as it's bearable. bearable. I mean, okay, the egg slap is a shameful thing to have done. It will follow him all the days of his life, and he's teaching, by the action, he's teaching the wrong example. We don't want kids egging people. We don't want people who are intoxicated egging people. So he has a long-term job of actually mending that, of which we've had this conversation already. And he is already contrite. He's already said, I know I shouldn't have done it. So we forgive, we move on. And what he's doing now is teaching what to do and what not to do in regards to his own actions. You see, look, the noble art is all about chivalry. It's all about being a protector of the community at large. That's what I've done for 35 years, and I've put up with a lot more than most. And the idea is to handle it Christ-like, which is with grace. You and all those reporters over the years who said things which were in the negative, you are my team. We are in a play. And if you look back at your play, you're like, okay, I remember him, he didn't like me, and that made things actually a bit more exciting. And that was my life cycle. I'm not going to hate anybody. That would be moronic. I've got to actually look at this person and remember that they are part of my journey. How did I treat them? Did they make me stop? Did they take me off track? Or did I embrace them? Did I turn the other cheek? You see. And the idea is, know that you're in a play. So what is it going to look like when the credits start falling down? What is it going to look like? Is it going to be an Oscar performance or a poor performance? I have a performance that I enjoy every day. I had a wonderful career. As hard as it was dealing with what I didn't understand at the time, I still embraced them. And now I look at them and say, wow, these guys did me such a favor. How people didn't say, well, how do they say such disparaging things about him? And in actual fact, well, he drives a few vehicles that may be a bit strange. He may dress a little bit weird, but how can you talk about a guy so disparagingly, and he's actually not such a bad guy? And the more time goes on, the clearer it becomes. Then you have these guys, and you just think, well, where did these potty mouths come from? And how do they still use it, understanding that they have dads, and they have mothers, and they have children, and they have no care for their language? It's showing you that these people are bad actors. That has to be, we have to squash that. We have to behave with class. We are Great Britain.
Chris, when I spoke to you 8 days ago at Michael Watson's walk, your comments that day indicated that you wasn't going to be here today. You spoke to the media, etc., etc. Mm-hmm. What else specifically changed in order for you to be here today? Because those comments suggested that you weren't going to be a part of this.
I suppose I got over the emotion that I was made to feel by feeling Michael Watson's pain as he walked that 1 mile. I felt his bones trembling. And at the same time, I'm watching him smile as best he can, trying to mask the pain, telling the people that it's a walk in the park. How could it not make a man who has heart cry? I cried. So I was in an emotional state. So when I said the things I said, they were real. And they were right. And they were very theatrical. But then I've calmed, and my son is my son, and we forgive instantly. And so I'm here doing what I must, which is to look after my son in any and every way I can. And for those who may think that, Connor's right when he says, your dad doesn't even like you. I love my son. I may not like some of his ways, like I don't like his bad language. But I love my son. And Connor, I love. I love him with the love of Christ. This is the essence of life. Okay, it's a play, it's a game, and we're all going through it. And the idea is to enjoy it, and the best way to enjoy it is to love what's in front of you. Everything you're looking at is God. So get on the frequency of it, because everybody has that frequency. And when you find that frequency in the person, you have a beautiful conversation. You have a beautiful repartee, if you will. Do you see? Anything else?
Two quick things. Chris, what have you made of the weight situation over the last 24 hours and the fine that your son got for being 0.5 of an ounce overweight?
If the rules were being adhered to from the controlling bodies, these promoters would have their licenses revoked. And this will soon be the case. It will be the case. They will have their licenses revoked, one. And two, these rules will be adhered to. How do I know? Because I'm telling you so. So who am I? I am the spirit. I am the spirit that will make sure whatever I say will come to pass. Why? Because I'm standing on the rules. The rules, I can't fail. See, if this fight today does go ahead, I haven't failed. The rules have failed, and I stand on the rules. I go down with the rules. Or I stand and go up with them when they are enforced. Do you see? Anything else?
Last one. What happens here tonight, in your opinion?
Well,
what happens in that ring tonight?
Well, if I was to give you my opinion, this would be taking some of the spice out of the result. Okay, so you have enough to play with. You know, the idea is with this particular contest, as best you can enjoy. Always an absolute pleasure.
Chris Eubank Sr, much appreciate your time, and we'll no doubt catch up soon.
Rastafari.
Colin McGuigan, IFLTV. I've never had to run after you before, Benjamin.
I know, it's crazy.
How mad is this fight week for you?
It is big. You know what it is? When you have people that just don't even like boxing asking about tickets, asking about can they come, asking about, like, I'm talking people that have never really watched boxing before, and that's massive. Massive for the sport, massive for everyone involved, massive for how big boxing can be. Is it a world title fight? No. Is it a fight that everyone in this country is interested in? Yes. And yeah, it's pretty phenomenal to see boxing at this scale in Britain.
Obviously, I want to ask about the money situation that was mentioned. What's your take on all of that?
What do you mean, what's my take?
In terms of Chris Eubank.
Eddie says a lot of things that aren't true, and that was one of those things, and so Chris probably just took offence to it and just called it out. Eddie can't stand on what he said.
Connor's had a bit of a pop at you, saying that you aren't getting paid for this fight, and you've said that you're actually getting paid more than him.
I genuinely think we're near enough the same. Listen, Connor can talk and Eddie can talk, but the reality is Chris Eubank Jr. and the team are the A-side in the event in every single way, and that's not down to me. That's down to Chris Eubank Jr. being a bigger commodity than Conor Benn. It's not about the promoters. I want to let the fighters speak. I think that was clear from what I said, and now you're going to try and make it about the promoters.
No, I'm going to bring him in on just what you said.
Yeah.
Eddie? You two shook hands yet on this bet?
Yeah, of course.
Very good friends now.
Yeah, great friends. Yeah.
$100,000?
Whatever you want, more if you want.
Listen, I know that Eddie knows, and I know that Eddie knows that he's just given me $100,000, which is why
cool. We're gonna have a bigger bet. We're gonna have £1 million.
You want to do £1 million on Conor Benn
in escrow tomorrow morning?
He has
I'm telling you now, £1 million in escrow tomorrow morning.
On what?
On what? On the fight.
You're going to bet £1 million on
in escrow
Conor Benn
tomorrow morning.
Listen, he's got billions, right?
That's the first true thing you've said.
No, he's got a lot of money. He's inherited a lot of money. So
to be honest with you, like at the end of the day, the reality is, winning is worth a lot more than £100,000. I think we do something for charity, whatever. I think it would be nice.
Eddie, he said that he feels that he's getting paid, if not more than Conor Benn, around the same. What do you make on that?
Who?
That was
Ben Shalom.
First of all,
he's making double-digit millions for this fight. If so, Chris Eubank needs to sue him. immediately.
Maybe he does. No, the point I was making
Very strange thing to say.
The point I was making is it's clear that Chris is earning more than Conor Benn.
You said you're making more than Conor Benn.
I said, listen, Conor said to me, you're not earning out of this fight.
No, he said that you said you're making more than Conor Benn.
It's tongue in cheek. I also said
it's
Bakole.
tongue in cheek. Like AJ signed against Bakole.
Yeah, exactly.
And like Adam Azim didn't put out the purse bid. And like Caroline Dubois didn't put out the purse bid.
Like it was like it's 60-40 to Conor Benn. Exactly that.
Yeah, but you got see when I did that, you phoned me up straight away saying, "Please don't say that's going to cause me problems."
Please don't say what.
When I said we're getting more money than you.
Oh, absolute. Do you think you're getting? Do you genuinely, hand on heart, think Conor Benn is getting more than Chris Eubank Jr.?
You'll learn this over time.
No,
as long as you are getting the right deal.
So why say that he's earning more than
for
Chris?
banter?
Okay, fine. For banter.
Why say that you're? Why say that you're making more than Conor Benn?
For banter.
Right, before we get on to the rematch clause, there was a bit of a push and shove yesterday between you two.
Yeah.
And Robert Smith has called me up and said, "Would I like to make a complaint?" And I said, "No."
Is that true? Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that another true story? Can you confirm that's true?
I spoke to Robert. He said I'd have to make a complaint. I'm not making a complaint. Don't worry.
So it's not true. So he didn't call you up and say, "Would you like to?" Because I'd like to know what Robert said.
He's seen a lot.
No, because it's important that we know what Robert said. What did Robert say when he called you?
He made a comment that it probably wasn't right.
Oh, so he didn't call you up and say, "Would you like to?" You'd have to make a complaint.
He did say I'd have to make. No, he did say I'd have to make a complaint. He did say I'd have to.
Make a
but
complaint.
luckily, I won't because I'm not like that. He can do what he wants. Fine.
Has this fight week got under both your skins a bit more than usual? Go to you first, Eddie.
No, he does wind me up a bit, Eubank, because I just feel like he's so painful. Like even when I look at his Instagram and stuff like that, I just find him cringe.
No, he's
not you.
He's a character. He's a character.
No, but
he's a character.
Ben and Conor Benn, that's the fight. I don't know if you saw the little shimmy outside, because if someone's recorded that, I want to see it in slow-mo, because I shit myself, let alone him. His bumhole's still on the halfway line.
I'm not
honestly.
sure. Not with Conor. Maybe someone bigger than Conor. Not with Conor.
Do you feel a bit rattled this fight week, Ben?
No, I'm really enjoying it. Genuinely, I'm really enjoying it. I'm just obviously to be in a fight this size. I have to say. This is massive. Like this feels. Listen, don't stop the patronising stuff.
Yeah,
stop the patronising stuff. Stop telling. The fact is, it's the biggest fight of British boxing in this year.
How can he?
And thanks to Chris Eubank Jr, it's the biggest fight.
And you.
Our side, yeah.
No,
and we've given you a massive payday and a rematch as well.
Well, listen, the thing is the fact that you're making more money than Conor Benn for this fight.
Listen, I think it's close. I think it's
very close.
Rematch clause. Talk to me. How did that come about?
We sat down in Saudi Arabia and Dr. Rakan said they want a rematch clause. They're asking for a 2-fight deal. And I went, wow, okay. Didn't know that was on the agenda, but why not?
I made Eddie a huge amount more money.
And
he did say
I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't just say that. You saved me.
No.
You did. You did.
I saved Conor Benn. I didn't.
No, you saved me.
No, I didn't save you. You don't need to do this.
Is Chris Eubank Sr. going to be involved at all, Ben?
I think he will. I think he will closer to the time. But this isn't about the fathers. This is about Conor Benn against Chris Eubank Jr. I think closer to the time he will be.
When you seen Nigel Benn's hands around Eubank's neck yesterday, from your point of view, what do you make of that?
I was fuming. I think.
What did I think? If you think that your son or even your mate or whatever has been whacked round the head with a glass or whatever
you told him it was a glass. Even I thought it was a glass after Eddie was going on.
No, because when it all shattered and the noise it made, it could have been anything. No one knew it was an egg.
I think that's
the natural reaction. Like you, fuck. What do you know? You're lucky. You lucky old fucking big man here. Morgan held me back. Yeah. he saved me from a GBH charge. Morgan, shout out Morgan. Little pan on Morgan, please.
I would have been in trouble.
You would have pan on Morgan. This geezer saved me a 5-year stretch. That's what he done. Because the reality is, if your mate is the same as if you're in a bar, right? Say you're in a bar and someone whacks your mate around the face. What do you think you're going to do? You don't go, oh, and just run over the back. You go over, and Nigel Benn slipped round the back, and he was a wrong place, wrong time. I shouldn't have. All I did was fucking get out of the way, because he'd come back on the stage. He was like a jacking box. He went down, he came back up again. Oh, he said to me, calm down, calm down. I said, fuck you, get out of the way. I was never going to whack him, was I?
It was heavy.
But you know, heavy.
Yeah. It was a real push. It was a real
tough push.
You two have had a couple of Barneys now. Do you think at some point maybe we'll see you two in the ring together?
To be honest, I will have to say, Frank's way more vicious than Eddie. Even though Eddie pushed me. No, not Frank Smith. Frank Warren. When Frank Warren pushed me, it was real. Like
mine was get out of the way because he come back on the stage.
He pushed me, and yes, he tries to patronise me, and yes, he insults me. You do.
I think I'm giving you unbelievable education. I said that to you the other day. What I've taught you in the last couple of months, you've learned more than in your entire career.
Come on, Eddie.
It's true.
Well, you weren't
You asked
promoting
me to be on your board for boxing.
You weren't, yeah, and that's good banter, and you should have accepted that.
More
as good
banter.
Sorry.
What do you mean on the board of boxers? Is that a genuine request?
Well, obviously it'd be like legendary for the company.
I said, Eddie, why don't you come on the board of boxing?
I know.
Yeah.
What did you say?
He actually could.
It would make my career. Oh yeah, I was really very interested. Yeah, it's good.
Right, do you two genuinely like each other? Do you speak outside of this? Do you WhatsApp?
I promise you, this is not patronising, yeah. I think he's a really strange geezer.
No,
right?
no,
you are.
See, that's
but Baz,
no, listen,
but I don't mind him. I don't mind.
What are you?
I'm emotional. I'm passionate. I'm up and down. But Ben, I'll say this now. Let me finish. Shh, let me finish. Let me finish because you're getting the Eubankitis. Right, listen. One sec. Zip. I do not in any way, I promise you, dislike Ben Shalom. At all. There is a common trend within the. I think he's misunderstood. That's a great thing for you to say, for me to say to you, because I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that people that don't
okay,
like
but
you,
you're not misunderstood.
No, I am what I am.
So yeah,
I'm a fucking passionate arsehole who fucking loves to win, and I've been brought up in that environment, and my head's a little bit all over the place sometimes because I'm just fucking desperate to win. You
win what?
Win in life, win in business, win in boxing, win in sport, win in everything. Everything to me is a competition. I haven't quite got to the bottom of you won't
yet. Because it's
hard. Puzzle?
It's hard for us to relate to each other. We've had different journeys. You started at my age. I've done 70 shows.
I started at 17.
I've done 70 shows. I've not had a helping hand. It is a different journey, and so we're obviously going to be different people when we get to this point.
Yeah, but one thing you do very well, you are the best victim player in the history of sport.
I'm not a victim.
You are.
I'm a winner. Look at me.
Well, that's what we like, Ben.
No, sure.
Go on.
Move him out of the way. Move him out of the way. Listen. Come on, son. Come on, son. Move him out of the way. Move him out of the way.
What are you
grabbing me?
What are you
grabbing me?
Can I hit you over the head with an egg? And I was like,
what?
I was like,
yeah, because listen, I've been pushed twice now. I'm assaulted. I want to hit me over the head.
I'll pay you to hit you over the head with an egg.
That's true.
Yes, again, it's good banter. He doesn't understand banter.
What do you like about Eddie Hearn? He's just told you what he thinks of you. What do you think about it?
I'll give you a lot of time.
Listen, it's hard.
I'll pick up your calls.
It's hard to. Eddie's just emotional. As he said, he's up and down. He's passionate. I think he's a bit one-dimensional at times, right? I do. But
do you think if I was one-dimensional, I would take the sport global and turn the company into $1 billion?
Come on.
No, but that's serious. If I was one-dimensional, I think that's a bit patronising.
Colin McGuigan, IFLTV. Delighted to be joined by Ryan Garcia. Ryan, how are you doing? You good?
Yeah, good. How you doing? Don't fall.
Close.
Yeah, close.
Ryan, obviously you're here. You spoke with Turkey Al-Sheikh. Just tell us a little bit about those conversations.
We got big plans, man. Ready to take on tough challenges. All right, bro. Tough challenges in 2025. To be honest, I'm here to test myself, fight all the best fighters like I have been, and just finish the job. What my goals are.
When you spoke to him about the Devin Haney fight, what were those conversations, and how likely are we to see you in the ring with him next?
I mean, very likely. We're close. I mean, that's a fight that Turkey wants, a fight I want, but things need to play their part before I even consider it. You know, they got to drop that lawsuit amongst other things.
Would you fight Conor Benn? He's there. Is that a fight?
Yeah. Of course I would fight him. Yeah. How does it go? You tell me. You tell me.
Won't work on me. You know.
We'll see. That's what they all say, but somehow I find the target every time.
Don't be talking shit in my city.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Come on now. Come on now.
Talking shit in my city.
You know how it is. Your city. Your city.
Yeah, my city.
You don't think I'm gonna hit you with that left hook?
No.
For many fighters like you, I thought that was strong.
Go for it. Go on.
Yeah, you go for it. You go for it. You go for it. You're the one that started that shit.
Go on, you go for it.
Ryan, before you go, can you just give us a reaction to that bit with Conor Benn?
Classic Conor Benn. It was fun.
You think you beat him?
Yeah, of course.
How does it end?
I knock him out. He's a little too jittery. Is this our car?
Is this our car?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. do that too.
Where's our
Yeah,
car?
where are you, James?
Ryan, how tough has it been mentally being out of the ring all this time?
It's been hard, man. Watching everybody get a fight and stuff is just, it's tough. It's really tough.
What month could we expect to see you back?
Target date is probably in May. Yeah, May. It's freaking cold.
Ryan, appreciate you.
When they put the mic in my face like this, I'll start talking.
Kugan Cassius IFLTV here with Mr. Eubank Sr.
Hey, with the crown. The servant.
Sheriff.
No, I've told you many times I'm a deputy. As you know, the sheriff got shot up. Okay? I shot the sheriff?
Correct.
Okay, I'm the
Marley.
deputy. I'm the deputy marshal. Now, Michael Watson here is the inspiration personified. This circus that's going on with my son and Conor Ben, you know, it's a slap in Michael's face. How, the people's champion is Michael Watson. He always has been. You know, during our time in the 90s, he was the people's champion. So where are these people today? Stand up for him by not going along with the nonsense and the circus that's been created for this farce of a fight, which is between one fighter who is at 2 or 3 weights above the smaller guy. The smaller guy in Conor Ben he has had his career destroyed for one guy. Because once you go up to 160, going down to fight, then at 147, it doesn't work. These rules are in place to provide a rail for him for his career. My son coming down from 168 to 160 puts his life in danger because I know what it is. I know what it is to lose that type of weight. The super middleweight championship of the world came into play in 1991. And we were the first 2 to fight for it because the weight between light heavy and middle was too far, so they put in the 168. Okay? Michael came in at 11 stones 10. Why? I want you to ask Barry why. We are fighters. I'll fight him at any weight. That's how we talk, that's how we think, because we're not going to have our courage challenged. Why was he made to come in at 11 stones 10? You know, what damage did it contribute to the state in which he has been living with for the last 30 odd years, 35 years, 34 years? You know, speak to Barry Hearn. You know, Matchroom became a leader because of me. I don't say that in a boasting way, okay? Because it really wasn't me who did it, it was my spirit. But I'm wise enough to see that I brought Matchroom through to the top in boxing, because at the time you had Mickey Duff, obviously you had Warren, you had all these other promoters. Matchroom became #1, and look at what the Sun has now done. Matching Kell Brook against Golovkin. You know. How his license wasn't actually revoked at that time, I don't know, but I'm bringing it to light now. My son having to boil himself down to 160. 3 years ago, they were talking about him coming down to 157. What is that? This is daylight murder. And when I say murder, you say, well, oh, Chris, that's a bit too strong. Yet, my brother died at the hands of the promoters. 20 losses in 27 fights. Being brought in as fodder. Do you understand? So I don't have any, I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking about truth here. It's real for me. My brother died, frontal lobe dementia. I didn't have the strength of character to go and see him in the last 6 months of his life. To watch him locked in his own body, to watch him spasming all the time he's awake. You know, the promoters are responsible for that. And I'm saying to you, well, okay, so we have to protect the fighters. You know, and the biggest and best example of this is Nick Blackwell behind you, Michael Watson sitting down, and you know, the perpetrator of which I've shown Michael my heart. I've shown the public my heart. I'm so
Just stop.
I'm so hurt by what's happened to him, and this is the situation they're putting my son in now. This is Connor. They're destroying his career if they haven't already destroyed it. So you mentioned legacy. Long-lasting effect of a particular event. That's what it means. Okay, what me and Ben did, there wasn't any bad language. Okay, we didn't get into a fight outside of the ring in the studio because we had to be noble. This is a disgrace. And if it isn't a disgrace, which one of you media guys will say, hold on, Chris, I don't think it's a disgrace. Fight me. It's a disgrace. Yes, I said it, and you all need to say it. And you all need to actually make the Boxing Board of Control do their job, and you, the journalists, do your job. We can't run amok. We are not a country of baboons. We are Great Britain. I rest. Do your job. Yeah. You, do your job.
Chris, have you spoken to Junior?
He won't listen to me. He's looking at only the money. What do I do? What does the dad do if the son won't listen? Then the dad has to come and speak to the public directly. My son will not listen. For him, he's being drawn into that, however many millions. The money he's paying him, okay, I'm not silly, you know that. Okay, all right. My humor is still good, don't worry. Okay, the point I'm making again is we have a duty of care to fighters. Nick, we have a duty of care to fighters. Mr. Hamlin, we have a duty of care to his job and what he does in saving the lives of these men. Mr. Journalist, you have a duty of care for him and all who are like him. Derek.
No, so let me add to that. I want to support what Chris is saying. He's definitely right, because the fighter's health is paramount. And you got a caring, not just a father, a man who is a former elite fighter that understands the risk on health of a fighter going in the ring.
And if I'm crying, okay, so and I don't want to get emotional. I'm trying to get my point across here. But maybe the best way to get my point across is for you to see how I feel about what boxing can do to a man if the rules are not respected. So I want to rest now. I don't want to keep on going on over and over on the same thing. You get it, right? We've got a job to do. We're not baboons. Okay, all right. Let me step back.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate.
Now.
This is Kugan Cassis for IFLTV. We're at British Boxing Club here in Dubai. Delighted to be joined by Mr. Andrew Tate. How are you, mate?
I'm doing good, friend. I'm doing good. Yeah, shaking off the dust, bringing the youth back.
I've never watched you spar in person before. You've actually probably had about 7 opponents in there today. I'm not allowed to say. I'm not sure I meant to say you dropped one or many. But yeah, you're very awkward, aren't you?
I do my best. Yeah, I'm quite awkward, but we had some really high-level competition. We had some UFC guys, some UFC veterans. A couple of them, caught me with some shots, but that's what you need. You need to constantly push yourself, challenge yourself, and I'm lucky to have sparring, which I believe is harder than my opponent for this camp, which is actually a very good place to be.
I always find it interesting when people don't have to fight that fight. A lot of people want to fight in boxing wherever because they want to earn money out of it and kind of do things that way. But for yourself, you don't need to do what you're doing on the 20th of December, so why are you doing it?
It's a good question, but I think that is what youth is for. Youth is for the fact that you heal and you recover and time moves on. And on your deathbed, you're always going to regret the things you did not do. You're not going to regret what you did do, regardless of how it went. I've never regretted anything I've tried. I've never regretted any of the bad things or good things that have ever happened to me. You only regret whether you should have done it or shouldn't have done it or what could have been. I'm not a could have been kind of guy. I know exactly what could have been because I was there. So I have a very comfortable life. I'm very fortunate. I'm from a Luton Council estate and I've managed to make a whole bunch of money. But I'm not a rich man. I'm just a Luton Council estate guy with a whole bunch of money. So sometimes you got to, go back to what you know, and that's fighting.
We saw a spectacular announcement of your involvement with Misfits, which I didn't know was a little bit tongue-in-cheek or not, that you've replaced KSI as the CEO of Misfits. Can you give me some sort of context around how this has happened?
Yeah, KSI and I had our back and forths a few times. Sometimes we got along, sometimes he said some stupid stuff that annoyed me. And if you understand how this world works, it's not just boxing, it's politics, it's inter-country relationships, it's business, it's money behind the scenes. And when money's moving behind the scenes, people move with it or people get replaced with it. So if more money can be made by having an interesting CEO like myself as opposed to a boring CEO like himself, then that's his problem. And then this is where we end up, right? I don't think it's actually that unusual. I think it's pretty common in most companies for a board member or a CEO to get replaced if people don't believe they're doing their job. If Elon doesn't make the Teslas move, Elon doesn't own Tesla. So unfortunately for KSI, he's simply not interesting, famous, or handsome enough. So they found the most famous, interesting, and handsome man they could, Andrew Tate.
When I first heard you linked with Misfits, my initial reaction to it is there's no way Tate does Misfits. There's no way that Tate does this. But I mean, fast forward kind of months after, you're fighting in Dubai on the 20th. I mean, it's actually quite insane.
Yeah, it was a relatively spur-of-the-moment decision for me. I mean, I've always been in shape. I've always loved fighting. Obviously, I've always trained. But the opportunity arose to become CEO, and I thought if I'm going to be the CEO of this organization, I need to make it as big as possible. So I had to find the best fighters that people really want to see. It's very convenient. That's also me. So I'll put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to get in there and I'm going to do it. I'm going to become the heavyweight champion.
No disrespect to Chase Demore, I know who Chase is, but when that opponent was put to you, did you know much about Chase Demore?
I knew he was the heavyweight champ. Yeah. I know he's big. I know he's active. I know he really believes in himself. I know he's younger than me. On paper, in many ways, he should beat me. He's active, he's younger, he's bigger, he's the champ. And I like that. That excites me. I would hate to get in there against somebody who would be a lot smaller than me or a lot older than me. That's not my intention. My intention is to get in there and for everyone to think that I don't really stand a chance because I've been out the game and thrown out of jail and X, Y, Z, and then shock the world. That's what I'm looking to do.
What's the end goal of doing this on the 20th? What do you want to really for yourself accomplish out of it? What gives you satisfaction at the end of it where you went, right, I've done this part now?
I feel like I've been a massive influence on the culture, especially for young men in the world today. It's very hard to find a young man anywhere in the world who doesn't know who I am. And in many ways, influencer boxing's actually been, I think, a positive thing for the world. I think it's removed a lot of the catfighting bullshit you see between influencers and full-grown men online. You don't see Twitter beefs as much anymore because now it's just like, well, let's fight. And I think that's the way that problems used to get solved, and I think it's the way we actually fix a lot of this knife crime, gun crime, a lot of this craziness. Let's just meet on a day and a time, let's have a fair fight, and let's work it out. A straightener, like it used to be. So I feel like, getting in there myself and trying to encourage young men to train hard, go to the gym, dedicate themselves, be brave, because it takes a lot of bravery, not be a coward, show up, fair fight, win or lose, shake hands, and be done with the problem. I think that's a fantastic way to approach life, and I think it's a good way to be a role model for the young men in the world today. So I hope we make Misfits the biggest thing in the world. I hope we encourage as many young men as possible to get in the boxing gym. And hopefully, I think there'll be some very positive repercussions for all of society if we can manage to do that.
Andrew, I'm really interested about your background from Luton. I used to own a bar, sorry, not a nightclub, in Luton.
Which one?
So it was on Cumberland Street.
Okay.
So it was called MVP. This is in 2009.
Yeah.
Had it for 2 years. I didn't really know the surroundings, and then I found out that Luton's a very violent place.
It certainly is a violent
place. It was,
place.
Anyway.
No, it probably still is. It's probably worse than ever. I mean, back in 2009, the nightlife scene would have been crazy, though. It would have been every Friday night, every Saturday night. It was wild. There was a fight in every bar every single night, bro. It was one of those kind of places. But, although it was like that, it wasn't like it was today where you see people getting stabbed to death in London and the machetes and all these kind of things. There was always a fight, but people seemed to survive it. People seemed to work it out and move on. And obviously, a peaceful society is what we want. But if there is going to be any kind of problem, you like the idea of it ending without murder and bloodshed and death like it is in the world today. So, I mean, Luton is a fantastic place, I feel like, for me to have grown up in. I would hate to have had a privileged background. I don't think you can really be who you're meant to be as a man if your background's too nice and too clean. So I guess I was quite fortunate to make it out of there alive and take the lessons with me.
I've heard you and Tristan talk about the KFC story. I mean, it's incredible. That's accurate, isn't it? That's what you used to do.
Yeah, no, we grew up completely broke. We grew up with absolutely nothing. And that's a true story. We were at, I think we were at Turkish airport in Turkey. Someone ordered a chicken bucket, only ate one piece from the chicken. I was like, you didn't even touch it. Let's just eat it. And at the time, we didn't give a shit. We're like, he took one piece of chicken from that chicken bucket, didn't even touch it. Let's eat it. And now we're billionaires, you could say, in some ways. So depending on how you measure wealth. So it's kind of crazy. But the funniest thing about being rich is that you just talk about all the times you were poor. And your best stories are when you were poor. And if you didn't ever have the poor times, you wouldn't appreciate being rich at all. Because being rich is actually, in and of itself, boring. There's not much to buy, bro. You buy a diamond watch, you buy a nice car, you buy a nice house. You buy some clothes. It's bullshit. The only thing that's good, the good thing about having money is so you can take care of other people you love. You take care of your kids, take care of your mom. You know, as men, we take care of others. We make other people happy. But for yourself, there's not really that much to satisfy you and please you. And the reason it's interesting to be rich is because you have the juxtaposition. You can compare it to back when you were poor. You could say, remember when we couldn't afford this? Now we can afford this. But if we could have always afforded this, it wouldn't be worth anything at all. So I'm very lucky to have been born with good parents and no money in a terrible place, which I survived. So I've had the perfect concoction to make myself who I wanted to be. I would really hate to have had it any other way.
We've actually got a few mutual friends in common who I spoke to this week. Adam Hart, Shrek. So Adam said to me, I spoke to him earlier on, and he said to me that this fucker used to eat KFC and never put on any weight. That's what he said.
I'm still not a bit, I guess I've always been lucky. I've always been in pretty good shape. Even before this fight camp, I've always been in pretty good shape. I'm not on any kind of steroids or peptides or any of that kind of stuff. I've always had those genetics, I guess. But I try my best to take care of myself. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I never have. I don't gamble, don't do anything really that crazy. So I guess even finding time to train, all I really did was work anyway. So it's just a few less emails and a few more punches.
I hope people can understand there is, we're in a gym and there's a little bit of pads going on in the background. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I've listened to loads of your stuff and seen kind of where you've come from, just from what you've said to where you are today. But how much of what we see on these clips and the things that go viral every day on everyone's feeds, how much is accurate to that's who Andrew Tate is?
I think some nuance is lost when clips go viral. There's no doubt about that. But we live in a world now with shortened attention spans. And everything's about clips and everything's about short form content and everyone has TikTok brain. So that's just kind of how it works. But I mean what I say and I say what I mean. And I think at the time I really went viral globally, it was needed, it was important. Masculinity's been under attack for a very long time. You're not allowed to even be a man, because if you're a man in any way, you're called misogynistic or toxic somehow. We're supposed to all just roll over and be neutered, or some, form of female, basically. And I don't want to go down the conspiracy theory route about how they're trying to remove masculinity from society so they can enslave us all, because it is masculinity that is the resistance. I would hate to be called a conspiracy theorist, but I was called a conspiracy theorist for a long time, and they all turned out to be true. So I've tried for a very long time to just make people understand that one of the basic tenets of masculinity is saying what you mean and meaning what you say. And even if that offends some people, it doesn't mean it's not true, and it doesn't mean you don't think it, it doesn't mean you don't feel it. And as soon as they can come along and say to you that you shouldn't say things that offend other people, then you can't say anything at all, and that's how you end up as slaves. So I mean everything I say. If something you've seen online offends you, tough, because I meant it.
Would you call yourself misunderstood?
I think I'm misunderstood by people who have no intention of genuinely understanding me. I think I'm misunderstood by people who want to misunderstand me. I think it's very purposeful. It's quite easy to believe that your enemies are idiots. I think that's quite a comforting thought. We live in a world now where people sit there and go, all the politicians are idiots. They're so stupid. Why would they, open up the borders and allow in unchecked people and pay for them to commit crime and open the prisons and accidentally release prisoners? And these people are stupid. That's quite a comforting thought, when truthfully they're not stupid. They are deliberately evil. It's malice, and they're doing it on purpose. I could explain myself for the next 10,000 years to the people who don't want to understand me, and they wouldn't understand me because it's not their intention. And the people who are in charge of the world It is their primary objective. It's their primary intention to misunderstand me so they can slander me, because they don't want anyone to truly understand my ideas or listen to what I have to say. So the easiest way to do that is to label me as something I'm not, like evil or dangerous, before you ever hear my ideas. If I tell everyone that you're evil and you're dangerous, when I hear your idea afterwards, I'm going to believe it's an evil or dangerous idea, as opposed to sitting there and thinking, wait, that makes a lot of sense. So I don't think I'm largely misunderstood by anybody. In fact, everyone I interact with on the street seems to like me very much. It's just there's a few evil people who are deliberately destroying Western nations, and they're trying their very best to misunderstand me on purpose to make me a toxic figure that no one wants to hear and listen to, because they understand that my ideology is directly counter to their ideology. Because my ideology in and of itself is basically bravery and masculinity, and that's the two things they're most afraid of. They're afraid of men saying, no, we're not going to allow this anymore. This is ours, or this is enough. This is the line. This is the limit. Tough. Whatever that line and limit is, it doesn't matter. But masculinity is the word no. What does dad say to the kids? He says no. So masculinity in and of itself is the word no. So I don't think I'm actually misunderstood at all. I think it's a deliberate smear campaign by people who, no matter how much I were to explain myself to them, would always misunderstand me because they know I'm right, and they're deliberately misunderstanding me.
What I found with yourself, I have conversations about you with not just people I know, but people I don't know. And when I ask them to kind of explain what they're saying, I find they're unable to, which is a problem, because what they're listening to is clipped out clips or word of mouth, etc. But when I've actually asked people to explain, women, men, whoever, why don't you like him, etc., they struggle to actually give me a definitive answer.
Well, of course they can't, because that is the final stage of the slave mind programming, when they can make you have an emotional response to a subject and you don't even know why. Think about how much of a slave you have to have a strong emotional response to a person you've never met. You don't know what they say. You don't know why you dislike them, but you know you do dislike them because you were told you were supposed to dislike them. You are only broadcasting to the world and whoever you're speaking to that you're a moron. And this is the final stage of the slave mind programming. And you get to a point where they can do this and label certain people or ideas toxic, and these slaves are going to instantly repel these ideas and people, even if the ideas and people are good for them. Even if the ideas and people are trying to help them, they're going to repel them because they believe they are bad, because they have an emotional response to something they don't understand. And the movie The Matrix, I talk about it all the time, but it's true. There are certain people who are so dependent on the system, they're going to fight to defend the system. So the people who don't like me and can't explain why are just lost. They're slave minds, their brains have been removed from their heads, and the programming's been installed inside of their head, and they hate who they're supposed to hate, and they love who they're supposed to love, and they don't even know why, and they go to all the concerts they're supposed to go to, and they watch all the shows they're supposed to watch, and they have the exact opinion they're supposed to have, and there's nothing unique about them, and they pay their taxes, and they slowly get crushed, and they die. And this is the miserable existence the slave has to live. And the people who are free-thinking will actually go, you know what? The system is trying so hard to make me not listen to this guy. Why? Let me listen to it. 5 minutes. Let me hear what he has to say. Those are the people who seem to come to a different conclusion, which tells you all you need to know, really.
It's absolutely insane. We are predominantly a boxing channel. I just want to chuck a couple of boxing things to you. How much boxing do you actually watch, Andrew, and take note of? I don't really see you talking about kind of, I mean, we're a hardcore boxing channel, so but how much do you actually watch in terms of whatever fights or fighters are going on?
Yeah, I watch the big fights that everyone talks about, I watch all the big ones. Obviously, we have Eubank and Connor coming up, got to watch that one.
You got a pick for that?
I like them both. Do I think Ben can do it to make it 1-1, to get the trilogy? That would make it interesting. But, I don't want to upset anybody. I've always been, careful about doing that. I know Ryan Garcia very well. He's also an amazing guy. So, I watch all the big fights. I still think boxing is one of the most entertaining sports in the world. I still think it's more entertaining than MMA in many ways. I think it's amazing. I would just like to see a few new heavyweights come through. I think we've got the same heavyweight names we've had for 10 years almost. Wardley's popping up now. I saw he did a good job. Yeah. So fantastic. Good luck to him. I hope he comes along. And
AJ Fury, are you still a fan of that fight?
Yeah, it would be good to see, of course, just for old time's sake. But this is what I mean. All of these heavyweight fights now are old time's sake almost. It's the same names we've been hearing for 10 long years. I'd like to see some new people turn up. So we got Wardley, we got Ituma, the other guy.
Moses Ituma. That's the next hope from the UK, 20 years old.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Have you watched much of him, Andrew?
I've seen enough to know he's dangerous. Yeah. Dangerous guy. So,
so just as you said that, Ituma's next fight is against Jermaine Franklin, who Anthony Joshua fought actually recently. So
Yeah,
not recently. But
I'm going to go with the UK. I'm going to go with Atuma. How do you say it? Atuma?
Moses Italma.
Italma. So yeah, I think he's definitely dangerous. I think he's going to be the next big heavyweight prospect, and then obviously, like I said, we have Wardley coming along. So it's going to be interesting to see how the heavyweight division, proceeds as a lot of the other people decide to check out and go into the sunset.
I've just come back from Bahrain, and I was out there with Carl Froch actually, and I was talking to Carl. I said, hopefully, I'm going to sit down with Andrew, and he's told me to tell you, just remember who the real Cobra is.
Well, I was actually King Cobra, my fight name. Technically, I was King Cobra, he was Cobra, so we don't have the same fight name, actually, although people get that confused. But yeah, Carl, I remember watching his fight as well. So I remember watching him and Groves. That was that was big. So yeah, boxing was such a big part of British culture, and I feel like England, in and of itself, the country I grew up in, the country I love, has lost so much of itself recently. We need to at least keep the boxing alive. It's got to be something holding the country together. The Queen's gone, and everyone seems to hate each other now, and crime's through the roof. But at least if we can keep the boxing alive, hopefully we can keep some part of Britishness alive.
Is there a possibility next year we could see you and Darren Till?
I'm going to get this fight out of the way first. Darren's someone who I like. I've always thought he was funny. I've always been a fan of his. I think he's a cool guy. I've watched his UFC career. I think he's very talented. I've always really liked Darren. And then obviously they talked about me fighting on Misfits, and then he popped up and wanted to fight. And I totally understand why, because I'm the most money. I get it. He started tweeting some really weird shit. I mean, I don't know. It was his attempt to get the fight was pretty gay. But he knows that too. It's fine. But he's a nice guy. And if he wins his next fights and I win my next fights, it could certainly happen in the future.
It's the biggest fight you could have in this world, Jake Paul.
I think it would be.
Yeah.
I think that would be quite a lot.
You guys faced off a couple of years ago. Was that just for promo?
Yeah, we faced off and then I got thrown in jail. So we had a slight delay. But that would be the biggest fight. Jake's a little bit shorter than me, but we're around the same height. That would certainly be a good one. Everyone talks about Jake like he's a YouTuber. He's not a YouTuber, he's a boxer. He trains full time, he has his own gym in his own house, he has plenty of money, best nutritionist. Jake's a boxer, he's a serious competitor, a serious contender. And that would make me a lot more money than Darren. So maybe that's why Darren's so desperate to try and get the fight with me first, I don't know.
But I think you're going to get this, aren't you? After the 20th, you're going to get a hold, everyone basically involved in that world wanting to fight, as you described, as the money fight.
Yeah, after I knock out Chase, everybody in the world's going to be trying to get hold of me. There's no doubt about it.
I just want to, before we finish, talk about you and your brother Tristan. Again, seen so many clips and of you two, and even when you were in prison and you said that you've got each other, like you weren't bothered about that situation being there because you had each other, and it's, yeah, quite warming.
Yeah, our brotherhood is world renowned for being strong. And obviously I'm very grateful and I'm very glad for that. I kind of find it strange that more brothers aren't as close as we are, because I think that's what God gives you a brother for. That's the whole point of it, right? I think modern society gets in the way. People get married and their wives start moaning and they get their own kids and they move out and things kind of separate brothers. But I think that you're strongest when you have your brothers by your side, whether they're biological or elsewise or otherwise. I think men have evolved to be in gangs or groups or tribes or teams. And I think that's when you're most competitive. Even if you look at a fighter, he gets in the ring alone, but he trains in a camp with other fighters. This is how we are. So I have a full-time fight camp with my brother. We live together, we work together, we train together. We're best friends, and we always will be.
I've got to shout out Warren Spencer as well. He's the one that arranged this somewhere. He's been sparring, yeah. He's a good guy. Warren, I don't know where he is, but yeah.
No, great guy. Great guy. Warren's an amazing guy, and he's training hard as well, so he's going to do fantastic on the night.
So you're full in camp now. 20th of December is quickly approaching. So, yeah, rock on Dubai 20th of December.
Yeah, I'm kind of want to fight now. I'm tired of waiting now. I just want to go fight. What's the point in me training 5 more weeks and him training 5 more weeks? So we can both just stop training now and fight. So if it was up to me, it would be tomorrow. But I guess we have to wait.
I do have another question to ask you. I saw a clip of you saying that, I'm not going to misquote you, but you said that, you were talking about fat people anyway, and you said that you can't have fat people around you because of the discipline. Was that tongue-in-cheek, or because it actually made me half want to go to the fucking gym, to be honest with you?
That's the goal. There you go. See, I'm a motivational speaker, sir. I'm not fat-phobic or mean. I'm a motivational speaker. I think I say things, in an exaggerated way for comedic effect. But I think there is a lesson there that if you can't control what you eat, then you probably have, you're hard to trust with other things. I think that's pretty fair, no?
Yeah, I get the point to it.
Discipline is discipline. Motivation is motivation. So, of course, I'm absolutely exaggerating like I do with most things. But what I'm trying to do is explain to the young men of the world today that, the image you give across in first impressions is something you can control. You can decide how people view you the first time they see you. And that is a conscious decision that you have to make, and you have to decide if it's worth the work or not. So I'm a positive guy, bro. I'm a motivational speaker. That's all it is. I'm not trying to hate on anybody. I'm trying to make people sit and go, you know what? He's right. Let me do something about it.
What have you regretted saying in your life then? Actually, I don't know if that's a great question or not.
Let me just think, because I need to make sure that my answer is absolutely fucking nothing. Ever. Zero. I don't regret anything I said. I told the judge in Romania they were corrupt when they were throwing me in jail. They told me that was going to get me 10 years. I still said it. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say, because I think if you operate with a pure heart, you can accept any of the outcomes. If you do your best and you say what you mean what you say, you can stick with any of the outcomes. If something bad happens to you, but you tried your best and you were honest with yourself and honest with everyone else, then you get to go through life without regrets. I don't have regrets. So I say what I think what I say, and that it is what it is.
Last thing, one of the clips that I've seen of you that's from a couple of years ago, and this got me thinking about stuff as well, where you said that people are too invested in low-level shit. Yeah. It's like, I've got a flat tyre, fucking my day's ruined. Who gives a fuck? Yeah. And loads of different situations that really don't really matter, but people kind of get absorbed in that and let that control their whole day.
Yeah, absolutely. And if it's not low-level problems, it's some form of entertainment or some form of division. You can tell a lot about a man by the size of problems he adopts. That's the easiest way to judge a man. If you have to meet a man for the first time and you want to see what kind of person he is, ask what he's working on or ask what he's fighting for. And that'll tell you everything about him. And a lot of people are constantly bickering with their neighbor over the fucking shrub. And they wonder why they don't get ahead in life. Like, who gives a shit? And you could argue that the world has done this on purpose. Like I said, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but there's a lot of individualism and individualistic things which are pushed on the populace today because it's collectivism that they fear the most. So they try very hard to make us all operate as individuals, because the second we unite, we actually have more power than they do. So it's very important you're very conscious and cognitive and aware of what's bothering you, what's in your brain, what are you thinking about, are you going to care about this in 5 years from now, is it worth being upset about, is there an easier solution? There's a lot of people who are run by their brains instead of running their brains. And I think that if you actually sit down and analyze your mind and decide what thoughts you're going to have and decide which way they're going to all operate, life's a lot easier, as opposed to just being a victim of whatever your mind wants to come up with.
Andrew Tate, much appreciate your time. I know you was on your way out and I collared you out there for this, so you've given me more time than I expected. So, brother, much appreciate. Can you just tell people why they should watch this interview with IFLTV?
Yeah, you should watch this interview with IFLTV because he's a really nice guy. Really nice guy, nice watch. Boxing is the backbone of British culture. I think we need to keep it alive. I've seen you guys. I see your clips everywhere. I think you're doing a fantastic job. It's very important to motivate the youth and stay in shape. And like I said, fair fights inside of the ring is much better than anything happening on the street in the world today. And of course, I'm going to knock Chase Demore out. So we all have to watch this interview and enjoy this so you can be motivated to buy your tickets and see the stream.
Andrew Tate, thank you very much. And we'll see you in Dubai next month, my friend. All right?